Hello everybody, apologies for the delay, I forgot to change to spectator, so just awaiting for another invite, but welcome along then to round 12 here in Le Castellet. Of course we'll be getting ready in just a moment or two. Apologies once again, that's my fault for not changing it. But I think we might be all okay. In just a moment. There we go. Should all be sorted now. So, we've got a very small number of drivers for this one. We haven't got a full grid. I believe we've got about 10 or 11 for this session. For round 12, we're getting closer and closer to the end of the season. Synchro, of course, continuing to lead said championship, and we're on now. We're all ready to go here in the 5.8 kilometer circuit, 15 corners around this track, and 12 drivers on track. We will see who will take pole position. Of course, you can ignore that one. That's it's not supposed to be that, but yeah, bit of an error on my side with that one, as we're on board at the moment with Victor's Mercedes. Just powering away. The only driver actually on the medium compound tyres. The rest are opting for the soft compound tyres. You can see as well, nice bright clear skies as well, for good measure. We've got a couple of new faces as well. Sulky in there, I believe replacing Mike Oxong temporarily. Mike unavailable, as is a number of drivers. You see the Ferrari of Chelsea Life as well, or Chelsea for Life. As we watch then Victor on their way down into turn 1, DRS open for the run into turn 1 for the Mercedes. And neat and tidy so far. Got to be careful out of the exit of turn 2, not to go too wide. You can validate your lap here. Tricky 3, 4 and 5. Keep to the left hand side for the run into turn 6. Got to lift slightly there. Otherwise the car just understeers off the track. And now down where probably the main overtaking opportunity will be, down this back straight. On the approach into turn 8, you go from 8th gear all the way down into 4th or 3rd gear as you make your way through turn 9 and back again we go. And we've got the flat out right hander of turn 10. Sure, they all have corner names as well, but I don't have them in front of me. Through turn 11 we go. The never ending right hand corner. Got to really apply the throttle nicely through there. Another never-ending left-hander turn of turn 12. And this twisty part of 13 and 14. We'll expect cars here. We have difficulty following each other through this final section. You see Rusty Orkan with the fastest lap time at the moment. 1:31.4. Victor will be the next one to cross the line on those medium tyres. The Goran's not too far behind Rusty Orkan. Victor with a 1:31.7. Not a bad lap time at all in comparison to the laps we have at the moment. Sulky has invalidated a lap in the Alpine, so they'll have to go again, as has Cervapa as well. So not an ideal start for those two. But interesting times at the moment. You see the gap there between Rusty and Goran is 9 1/1000ths of a second actually, so not much in it between them. And Sulky, I believe, is going for a second run after invalidating the first one. See the championship leader behind them, Synchro. We'll wait and see what their first lap is. They're on their out lap at the moment. Keep an eye on them in a second. Sulky then makes their way into turns 8 and 9. See, they've just clipped the curb slightly on the rear. Looked like the car had almost lost traction there for a minute. Sulky will keep to the the left-hand side. Rusty Orkan, meanwhile, has just improved on that lap time and now into the 1 minute 30s. So doing back-to-back laps, it seems, for Rusty Orkan. He's got now half a second of an advantage over the Haas of Goran behind. Sulky just making their way through the final sector. And through turn 15. Put the power down nicely. Back end stepped out a little bit. And now it's just a dash to the line. Sulky goes third fastest with 1:31.5. As we now watch Synchro. Let's see what they can do on this first run. Get your braking point nice and early. And hit the apex on both turn 1 and 2. That looks really neat and tidy at the moment. You can see as well they're picking the braking points very nicely indeed. They're hitting the apex on every corner so far. And this looks like a very good lap. I know it's only the first sector, we haven't seen the times yet, but you can see their confidence as Synchro passes the Alpine there down the back straight. Wonder if we do see some drivers using the slipstream. We'll have to wait and see. Synchro, meanwhile, again, this looks very, very comfortable. You can see, unlike the others, they're taking a huge amount of the left-hand side, more than the others we've seen so far, which of course you're allowed to do, as long as you don't put all four wheels off the white line, because you will get invalidated for it. It kept half the car on the track there. Goes a little bit wide through turn 12. Probably the only mistake seen there, or somewhere where they can improve slightly. Through the curb there, a little wide again. Well, they've lost time through there. Let's see what this lap time is by Synchro. Synchro still goes fastest anyways. It's a 1:30 flat. Almost 9 tenths quicker, despite the fact he lifted towards the end there. There's a Chelsea for life. It seems to have backed off from their lap. They've got to be careful though of a passing Haskar, which I believe is Goran on their out lap. Here's Michael Fures, another one on the medium tyres, as is Fallen Monkeys in front of them as well. With only 12 drivers on the grid, it's a lot easier to get into Q3, or well, starting in the top 10 on those medium tyres. Apologies, brain is numb. It is a 80-minute full qualifying session, not a Q1, Q2 and Q3 session. But only 2 of the drivers will have a free tyre choice. Michael Fures might start on the mediums regardless anyways, to be honest. Not much time lost then as a result, but of course could help with a strategy call later. We believe it's a one-stop strategy around here. Soft to mediums or vice versa, so Michael Fures, if they can start on the mediums and go well, as Chelsea for Life puts in their first lap, Michael Fures could come more aggressive at the end, especially with all those on the medium tyres, and that might be why Synchro backed off at the end, because they might think they can do more on those medium tyres. As you see there, a bollard just flying off that little green thing right in the front view of Michael Fures. Not sure where that's come off from. As we see, someone just moved up the times there. I believe that's Fallen Monkeys putting their first lap in. Michael Fures obediently beats that by about half a second to go 6th fastest. Hartman then moves up to 8th place. Here is Cervapa then, another quick driver. Could be a contender for pole position on those soft tyres. This time hasn't invalidated a lap as they had done previously. Makes their way through turn 15 DRS wide open. You can see the rear wing opened up there. They'll move to the centre of the line and goes quickest by 6/100ths of a second. Moves ahead of Synchro, and as you can see, Synchro, he is considering those medium compound tyres, and like I mentioned, that could be why they backed off at the end. As Chelsea for Life moves up into third place in that Ferrari. Ferrari haven't had the best of runs here in Division 3 this season, but Chelsea for Life could change that. ISRL Hartman finding a bit of time on those medium tyres as well. Synchro has come out on those medium tyres as well, so we'll see if they can improve on that 130 flat. See there off the track there was the McLaren, trying to keep out of the way of Mercedes of Hartman. You can see very hesitant on the exit of 10-15. Just really struggled to get the power down immediately. May not have had the grip to do so. And Hartman with a 1:32.1, not a great lap at the moment. Now, I wonder if Cervepa's probably backing off on their lap at the moment. Here's Goran improving on their lap. Or trying to go for another run. They've got an Alpha Tauri in front of them. They are going for it. You see they haven't got much ERS, so potentially doing back-to-back laps here is the Haas driver. Let's see where it gets them as they run to the line. Does improve slightly, but remains in fourth place. Next one then is Sulky. They've got a 1:31.5 as their personal best. Can they improve on that? The answer is they can. By 0.2 of a second. Stays sixth fastest though. Victor meanwhile has found, or seems to have found, a good amount of time. We saw 0.6 there. It did say sector 3 on it. Well, we'll keep an eye on Synchro as well. Synchro's just started their next lap. So we'll see what their time is, or their first run is on the medium tyres. As Victor moves up to fourth place, finding a full second there as a result. And I think Synchro has backed off here. Maybe didn't have enough temperature in those tyres to push just yet. So no one really on quick laps just yet. It's all started to calm down a little bit. Fallen Monkeys and Michael Fura's out. Michael Fura's again on those medium tyres. Fallen Monkeys has switched onto the soft tyres. The slowest times of the moment. It's still Vexter yet to get a lap on the board. They're still in the pits, potentially waiting till later on to come out. I imagine that Synchro will be going for a second run here after another potentially warm-up lap. There's away we go then. Synchro down the back straights, and let's see what they can do on this run. And you can already see through turn 1, struggled to properly turn it into turn 1. Of course, you can't have optimal grip on these tyres like the soft tyres. There will be compromises being made. Back end stepped out. Oh, and the rear slipping out. Lost almost 0.6 of a second on that first run. So Synchro backs off again. Not ideal at the moment. Just didn't have the grip or the temperature in those tyres. Either way, I'll have to try again. 3 minutes to go. Vapor on provisional pole for the time being. As we watch the Alfa Romeo of Michael Furious, is pretty much now almost locked onto those medium tyres. They're in the top 10. They won't have probably enough. They might have enough time if they pit this lap to come in and back out, but they're improving in this middle sector, which indicates probably Michael Fures is going to continue. If they do complete this lap, they won't have enough time to pit and come out again. So these might be the next few runs then for the Alfa Romeo driver. Been a pretty quiet season actually, I think, for Fures. Hasn't had the best of luck at times as well. Here's Fures then. Let's see what the improvement is going to be. Vapor's just come out onto the track as well. And it's a 2 temps improvement, but still in 8th place. Got about 3 more temps to try and catch. Sulky in 7th. Meanwhile, Chelsea for Life is looking to improve on that 3rd place. They're half a second off the provisional pole time and found almost 4 temps in the middle sector. So Chelsea could be up there with a possible chance of challenging for pole position. Synchro is going again on those medium tyres. How much grip have they found? They look like they are pushing as well. So it's good to see they seem to have found some grip and some confidence. We'll see if it's enough to improve on that 130 flat that they've done already. As Chelsea for Life then down the back straight we go. What's this time going to be? Will it be provisional pole? Yes it is. We're into the 1 minute 29s then. So a good 2 temps advantage then, as Synchro has invalidated. And I wonder, and with the lack of fuel they've got, don't think they can go again. Well, they are still going to go for it. Let's see how much fuel they've got left. As we watch then, Vapor then, on a fresh set of soft tyres, looking to challenge. Vexter is also the only driver without a timed lap at the moment. Going again. Oh, but has invalidated. Vapor went clean over the curb there. And invalidates as a result. And that is a huge shame for Vapor. We won't see if they improve or not. Synchro didn't pit. They have run out of fuel. They're keeping well off the track, but Synchro won't be on pole. And they will be starting with soft compound tyres. So who's next then to try and improve? Vexter then is the first. They will cross the line. Let's see what their timed lap is. It's going to be 4th place for them. In, of course, the French manufacturer's home race. We've got the checkered flag is out. Next to come across the line is Chelsea for Life, who's in the pits then. That will then mean Sulky is next up for the sister Alpine car. Then it'll be Vapor, who of course is invalidated, so their run is over. All looking good for Chelsea for Life at the moment as Sulky moves up to 6th place then. All that's left then is Michael Fures is off the track. Synchro, of course, has run out of fuel. The 2 Haas drivers have all but finished as Chelsea for Life then takes pole position right at the end there with a really strong lap. Vapor might be frustrated with themselves for that one. Just running over the curb a bit too much there into turn number... which turn was it? It was one of the... I think it might have been turn 3 actually. And as a result of that, they invalidated on their final run. Synchro tried to go on the medium tyres, couldn't get a comfortable lap in. We'll start on the soft compound tyres as a result. The Ferrari then on pole position, I think for the first time this season. So good efforts there from them. As Chelsea for Life then on pole by 2.5 tenths of a second from Vapor. Synchro in 3rd place for the championship leader. Vexter in 4th, Victor in 5th, Sulky in 6th, Goran in 7th, Oilken in 8th, Fulham is in 9th, and Michael Fures rounding up top 10. Then we've got Hartman in 11th. Ignore 12th place, they're not supposed to be there. Once again, huge apologies from me for that. Hello to Hartman as well. Appreciate the kind words. Good to be back. It's been a minute. So good to hear. So we'll get underway with the race shortly. We've only got 11 drivers for this race, as I mentioned earlier, but still. We've still got an opportunity for an amazing race. We'll see how it all plays out then. As we close to the race starting. Looks like clear weather as well, so no threat of rain. We've got a couple. We'll have a few 15 seconds before we get the race underway, before the Miami Grand Prix later on. So let's hope we can start it off in a good enough fashion. As we get underway. Unfortunately, that Red Bull is inadvertently going to still be there. So, like I said, huge apologies from my side for that. And let's hope it doesn't affect any of the drivers. I believe it's ghosted, or at least I hope it is. But yeah, I just completely forgot to change it, unfortunately. But, so... Top 10, of course, all barring Michael Furious on the soft tyres. Michael Furious, as I mentioned, qualified on those medium tyres. And Hartman, who had a free choice of tyres, going for the soft tyres anyway. So, I expect this to be a one-stop strategy. But of course, safety cars and virtual safety cars will play a factor into this as well. I'm hoping that the Red Bull does not intervene in any races. There's the tyre strategies there. Actually, thinking a two-stop strategy is the way to go. So 2 sets on the softs and then 1 set on the mediums. We'll see how it plays out. But I'm pretty sure you can do a clean run. Actually, it might be soft to hard tyres rather than soft to medium tyres. But with 27 laps, you don't really want to be making unnecessary pit stops, so it might just be a soft to hard tyre run. But Michael Furious on those medium tyres will be able to go much longer. So they'll either have freshest hard tyres at the end, or if they can extend it, they will go onto the soft compound tyres. So a lot to consider, for sure. Chelsea for Life has got a good battle in their hands as well. So Vapor, of course, a previous Grand Prix winner. Synchro, of course, equally in their own rights, has won a number of Grand Prix victories in the past this season. And Synchro looking to continue onwards. I haven't seen the standings as well, so I'm afraid I don't know if what the gap is. We haven't seen them yet. Just the hopefully AI car of the Red Bull lines up. We're hoping that they will be indeed ghosted, as we'll get underway with the race then. Here we go. 5 lights in France. We are underway then for the French Grand Prix. It's a very good start for the Ferrari. You can see the Mercedes of Victor lining up here. Synchro not having a great start and losing positions out in front. We've almost got 4 wide in the background there. The 2 Alpines dueling each other. Sulky up into 3rd place. Off the track there goes the Mercedes of Victor, and it's Synchro back up ahead of them, but Synchro losing 2 places at the start. It's an absolute melee, and the Alfa Romeo of Rusty Oil Can was hit as well. Contact with the Mercedes, and I don't know if their teammate was collecting that as well, and another bit of contact as well as Goran gets involved as well, and again ISRL Hartman almost having a wheel tap as well. That Red Bull is causing problems because it has moved ahead of both of them. So this Red Bull is making 2 places at once. Vexter has got ahead of their teammate again. The 2 Alpines swapping positions at the moment, but a really good start then for them. But look at Vapor as well. Vapor really on the back then of the Ferrari It's just laughing away at the the Red Bull in the background as Synchro gets ahead of Sulky for 4th place as well, recovering that damage. There is a Vapor down the inside of turn number 11, trying to make the way through. Chelsea for Life fighting that brilliantly at the start. But the space is given. Has Vapor got enough to stay ahead? Yes, they have. And Vapor takes the lead of the French Grand Prix on the opening lap then. Great stuff from them. You can see Synchro is closing up to the back of Vexter as well. Great stuff from them. But a brilliant start for Vapor, who leads then by 4/10 of a second from Chelsea for Life. And now the key thing for them is they need to clear that 1 second window, because the DRS will be enabled on the 3rd lap. You see Vexter getting all out of shape there. But Synchro not able to close in behind. This is look at this. This is an interesting scrap here. This is the AI car of oh boy. There's Rusty Oil Can having to change that front wing. We saw contact at the start. That is Synchro going ahead of Vexter for 3rd place. Oh, but Vexter's out. Now what happened there was their wheel-to-wheel contact with Synchro. We didn't see it. Whether they lost it on their own, I'm not sure. Either way, it's Fallen Monkeys got ahead of the aired car. We've got yellow flags. Doesn't look like a safety car at the moment. Chelsea for Life still holding on to Vapor. I'm just laughing at the Red Bull. It's putting up more of a fight than I can, to be honest. So maybe I should just get the AI to race any to do any races I ever do now from now on. It's a lot more consistent than I am. Meanwhile, ISRL Hartman fueling away. That's Goran, who's gone off the track, and I think they do need to return that position because they went off the track to do so. Have gone in, and they have indeed let the Mercedes through. Hartman back up as well, but Goran just takes the place straight away on the exit of turn 15. It's cheeky, but I suppose you can do that in a way. This is Victor having a look at Sulky for 5th place at the moment. We've lost one Alpine from this race. The other one has just picked... Well, sorry, no, Hartman's just picked up a 3-second time penalty. That's Goran, who's just been gone round as well. Not sure if that was contact with Hartman into turn 1. Either way, they are down into 9th place. Almost could be 10th place as a result of that. We have the DRS enable as well. Hartman's got a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. Not sure where that's happened. As you can see, Vapor trying to break the slipstream. We have seen that before from Vapor as well. This is Victor, who's just passed Sulky now with that DRS. That's Fallen Monkeys on Hartman as well for 7th place. And moves being made all over the place at this moment in time. Vapor hasn't broken out of that 1 second window that they've needed to. That's putting Chelsea for Life into this mix as well. Synchro's just 2 seconds back as well from this battle. So always worth keeping an eye on them. They'll be wary of the Haas driver coming at them. As meanwhile, this is Goran and Hartman. Round 2 for these two. Goran slips it up the inside. That is the AI'd Red Bull. I kind of like this. Up the inside and into 10th, 9th place. Are we really counting the Red Bull in this race, or... I don't know. I don't know what we do with it. Chelsea for Life within that 1 second window. As Hartman into the pits, presumably for a front wing change, I imagine. And is in. And on goes a new front wing. They also have a 5-second penalty for the speed for that corner cut as well. So they will be waiting for quite a while. As DRS enabled. Chelsea looks closer in this particular scrap. So far, not able to make a move just yet. And Hartman's not impressed by someone. So we'll see. Okay, that we'll see afterwards. Hartman then, Vexter out this race. Hartman down in 11th place. I believe that's to do with the contact with Goran. See what happens. Chelsea for life then. Very close now to Vapor. Synchro not really able to close in on these two as well. Still over 2 seconds back from these two. But of course, if these two fight each other a bit too hard, that gives Synchro an opportunity as Sulky in the pits then. We'll keep an eye on that in a second. Chelsea not able to make a move just yet. Now, is this a strategic change here? Looks like it is. No front wing change, on go to medium tyres, so this is an undercut attempt then, surely. So we'll see what Sulky does here. There's Chelsea for life then. Much closer now. Can they find a way past the AlphaTauri? DRS enabled, so Vapor already moving to the left-hand side. They may have to defend here because Chelsea for life is coming at them. Vapor switches lines here, but that just gives Chelsea for life the inside line as well. Vapor's there, they're still going to give him room, and Vapor has the momentum to keep it round the exit of turn 9, but it is bringing Synchro closer and closer as a result of this as well. The gap now down to 1.3 seconds. You can see the Haas driver is closing in on them as well. They've got to be really careful they don't take too much out of each other, because I think there's a bigger fish behind them that they need to be concerned about. But the more these two fight, the more time they lose as well. If Synchro does get into that DRS window, I don't think these two will be able to withstand it. May not matter though, because Chelsea has come into the pits, as has the Vapor as well. These two potentially responding to Sulky, but potentially trying to react to each other. They're both into the pits then. Synchro takes the lead of this race. Now let's see what tyres they go onto. Is it a set of the hard tyres? Looks like medium tyres for Chelsea and for Vapor as well. Goran has come into the pits as well for a tyre change as well. We'll see what tyres they go onto. So Vapor will come out behind. I think there's the AI'd car, and that could actually play a factor here. The AI'd Red Bull has gone in between these two. That will certainly affect Chelsea's race, and has got a 3-second time penalty as well. So I can only apologise. I was hoping it wouldn't cause an issue, but it is. But Chelsea for life hopefully should blast past the Red Bull quite quickly. But you can see already, look at the gap between those two, between Chelsea and Vapor already. This can only go so well here. There goes Chelsea on the Red Bull AI and up into 6th place, but they're 2.5 seconds now back from Vapor, so they've lost a lot of time as a result. So they've all got a bit of work to do. Meanwhile, Synchro staying out, or well, I would say that they're now into the pits then. So can Synchro overcut these two? I'd like to think the answer is no, because they're coming down the pits then. Vapor is now through turn 13. I'd be highly surprised if that was the case. This pit lane is rather long. On go the medium tyres. Away we go. So now it's Victor who takes the lead of this race. Synchro will drop down behind these two, and thankfully will come out actually very close to Chelsea for life. Thankfully the Red Bull not in the way this time around. And Synchro is actually, I think Synchro has actually gained on the Ferrari. That's partly in hand of where they've come out in terms of track position. A Sulky picks for a 3-second time penalty now. Now Chelsea's got to worry about being on the defensive rather than before when they're on the offensive, and once again, much like Vapor, they move to the left-hand side to try and break the slipstream. Synchro will just have to wait for the time being, just bide their time. All back end stepped out for Synchro. You saw them in qualifying, they struggled with rear traction on this medium tyres. Hasn't hurt them too badly, but of course could be a factor. Into the pits as well comes Victor, so now it's Michael Flores who will lead this race. And Fallen Monkeys in as well, so Vapor moves up to second place then. Michael Flores will probably be going longer into the stint, as they started on the medium tyres, the only driver who did. And look how close the Haas driver is then. Can they clear? The answer is no. It's a bit more of a window to do that. But we'll probably wait for the main opportunity down the back straight. Better exit as well from the Haas driver. I think Chelsea's going to probably struggle here. A little bit closer than before. Once again, Chelsea's doing exactly the same as before. Keeps to the left-hand side, but Synchro not able to really pounce on that. Not got much ERS either to utilise. Actually, you can see Chelsea's got almost a full tank of ERS to use. Synchro does not. Meanwhile, Victor is stuck behind this AI. I do feel a bit bad, to be honest. I didn't mean to. Victor. And up into 6th place then. The AI thankfully doesn't put up much of a fight, which is great to see. Actually has the old McLaren helmet on it. Would you believe it? Synchro then. Still stuck behind this Ferrari. 2 Ferrari powered cars fighting for 3rd and 4th at the moment. As Vapor now sets the fastest lap of this race. 3 seconds clear of these two. Once again, Synchro can get close, but not close enough, and the turbulent air here going to affect the Haas driver all the way through the corners here. Synchro needs Chelsea really to make one little mistake and try and capitalise on it, because Chelsea's got enough battery to defend. Chelsea can just keep on moving towards the right here, but Synchro's getting closer. They are using the ERS this time. Much like Vapor, Chelsea moves back on the racing line, but doesn't have enough momentum, does Synchro, to get through, and then gets a 3-second time penalty for good measure as well. But with a better exit here, can Synchro respond and get ahead of the Ferrari? It looks like they will. Through turn 10 they go. Synchro ahead and onto the podium, into the podium places, I should say. They did pick up a 3-second penalty for their troubles, but they moved ahead and into 3rd place then. As well as that's happened, Sulky got ahead of Victor as well for 6th place. Goran's just moved ahead for Fallen Monkeys, and while that's all happening, Michael Flores will pit, so that moves the Vapor into the lead of this race. And Synchro will now try and chase back after Vapor. See, Flores is moving on to the hard tyres, so they're on a one-stop strategy. Synchro now with the fastest lap of this race. Flores is going to come out in 6th place. One to watch, actually. They're on a one-stop strategy. We expect the rest are on 2-stoppers. So we'll see what they do. Now Chelsea with the ERS enabled and a fair bit of ERS to use. Can they move back ahead? You can see the flashing red light on the Haas driver. Just a little too far back on this occasion. So Synchro, we saw already, burning a lot of their ERS. Chelsea with plenty to use as well. Meanwhile, that's Victor repassing Sulky for 4th place. These two in a back and forth scrap with one another. You can see how much ERS they've both used actually. Not much left. And you can see Michael Flores is in the background as well. Even Stevens between those two. See, Fallen Monkeys is trying to catch Goran as well for 8th place. So Vapor meanwhile looks very comfortable out in front. Gap 2.3 seconds. Yeah, Synchro hasn't got really any ERS at the moment, and that will please the eyes of Chelsea's Ferrari. Particularly as we get to the back straight. Sulky has once again just passed fourth place. We haven't really been watching them. We'll hopefully cut back to them in a second. But I do want to watch this one as well. Synchro needs the best exit out of turn 6 and 7. Because Chelsea, with the ERS that they're using, with DRS as well, and the slipstream, can they go ahead of the Haas driver? They're getting closer, and they are trying to go for a move down the inside, and they've been spun round as well. That was kind of a half-hearted move there by Chelsea. They did not have their car fully alongside, and Chelsea gets spun round and drops down the field. I'm surprised Chelsea stuck their nose in, to be honest, but they just did not have enough room down the inside, and Chelsea loses time as a result. They're still in third place, but lost a lot of time as well. That will at least be a relief for Synchro. I wonder if the stewards will get involved in that, but either way, Synchro can now focus their attention on Vapor. Chelsea's going to try and recover. They're 7 seconds now down from second place. Not ideal for them. We've got Fallen Monkeys trying to pass the Red Bull. Shouldn't be too much of a difficulty. That Red Bull is still on tyres they've started this race on. Fallen Monkeys, of course, has just pitted. As Chelsea for Life has just picked up another 3-second time penalty. So 6 seconds worth of penalties now for them. There goes Fallen Monkeys up into 8th place. Not too difficult there. ISRL Hartman's just put on the hard compound tyres down in 11th. They're a long way down the field. They were involved in contact, I believe, earlier with Goran. Here's Victor closing in. Not much ERS to use there, and it's a very straightforward pass there for the Mercedes driver up to 4th place. These two will be in a back and forth duel with each other, and Michael Furious is joining them as well, now within that 1 second window on the hard compound tyres. So advantage at the moment goes to them, really, because Victor and Sulky will likely have to pit again. Michael Furious will try and go to the end of this race, albeit those will be very worn tyres at the end, so doesn't want to take too much life out of them just yet. About to start lap 13 at the moment. Vapor leads by 2 seconds from Synchro. Chelsea for Life all on their own in 3rd after contact with Synchro. Victor in 4th, Sulky 5th, and we're on board with Michael Furious in 6th. Going a long way back in 7th, might be under pressure from Fallen Monkeys later on. The Red Bull is now in the pits and will hopefully keep out of the way for the rest of the race, to be honest. Rastiorcan up to 9th. Hartman at the moment down in plumb last. We've lost Vexter from this race. The only driver we've lost so far. Not sure how they lost the car, but I'm sure we'll find out later on. As we enter this DRS train then between Victor, Sulky and Michael Furious. Victor hasn't got much ERS left. You can see almost drained the entirety of it. But probably has to keep using it because there's so much pressure from behind. Well, they've got to keep using it, but it seems to have all calmed down for the moment. Vapor maintaining that gap out in front. Worth mentioning, they haven't picked up a penalty yet for track warnings, so that will play into their hands because Synchro's got 3 seconds worth of penalties. Chelsea's got 6, so them to really contend with, and as long as Vapor keeps it all on the track, shouldn't need to worry at all. Victor doing a solid job at the moment to keep these two behind. able to close up on one another. And of course, one little mistake from any of them will put them in trouble. You can see Sulky using a lot of their ERS as well. Again, almost drained, but he's doing enough to keep Michael Furious at bay for the time being. Trouble for Furious is they're losing time to catch others as a result of being stuck behind these two, but just has to be patient and waiting because Sulky's got DRS on Victor. Michael Furious has got DRS as well, so not much advantage gained. Ideally, Furious needs to scrap with each other, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Michael Furious just has to wait patiently. And a little lift there from Sulky. But you can see as well, Sulky gets much closer through turn 9 of any corners really. But probably going to lose a fair bit through this final sector. Cars can't really follow through these little bits, unfortunately. Closest battle on the track as well. The others are all away from each other, as it seems. The question now is if these medium runners who pitted early are on a two-stop strategy, when are they going to make a pit stop? If and when they will. Someone's at a spin. That is Rusty Oil Can. Oh, sorry, no, it's not. It's Fallen Monkeys. Apologies. I read the name wrong. I don't know how I managed to read the name wrong, but there you go. Fallen Monkeys back out on track, losing only the one position to Rusty Oil Can, who has pitted anyway, so doesn't need to worry about that. Rusty Oil Can, of course, pitted early in the race after contact at the start. We'll drop down one or two positions potentially. Now, Sulky I thought was slightly closer to Victor there, but DRS and using whatever ERS they've got left, will they close up? They're going to get closer and closer, but they are going for it down the inside. I think that's a bit too late and a bit too ambitious there. And Sulky's very lucky to keep it on the track there. Sulky lunged it up the inside but wasn't sufficiently ahead, and I think they realised it. Now they're under pressure from Michael Furious. This is what they've been after, and Furious has not wasted an opportunity here. Down the inside of turn 10. Furious up a position as a result. Sulky, I think, put their eggs in one too many eggs in their basket, and as a result they have lost out. Bit of ambitious move there into turn 8. Just wasn't close enough, and in doing so they've gone backwards as a result. So little mistake there by Sulky has given Michael Furious the opportunity they've been waiting for, and Sulky immediately goes into the pits then. Not sure if there was damage in that as well or whatnot, but either way they're in trouble. So is Victor. Actually, Victor now under pressure from Michael Furious and backs off from turn number 1. That's probably what Sulky should have done. Sulky now on a fresh set of medium tyres. Synchro starting to slowly reel in the AlphaTaurius, the Vapor here. The gap now just under 2 seconds. As we watch then the Alfa Romeo. Turn 3 into down the back straight through turn 7. Can they close in on Victor? Will they do what Sulky did? They are close enough. They're much more alongside. And Michael Furious fires their way through. And the Mercedes loses a position. Michael Furious up into 4th place then. That was a good move there. They had more than a car alongside, unlike what Sulky had. And Michael Furious moves ahead of Victor now and up into 4th place. As well as we're on board with that. There goes Sulky, who moves back onto the racing line ahead of Fallen Monkeys on those fresher medium tyres and up into 7th place. Haven't really seen too much of the race leader. There they are. About to start lap 17. Doing a very good job at the moment. Nice, consistent driving. Keeping Synchro well and truly at bay. Looks very neat and tidy at the moment. ISRL Hartman. Sulky and Fallen Monkeys picked up a 3-second time penalty there. Hartman trying to ensure that they don't finish, well, plumb last. It wouldn't be probably ideal for Hartman if they're beaten by an AI here, but he got a very good run out of turn 12. They're trying to find a way through, but just have to wait a bit patiently for that. There's Hartman with a better run out of turn 15. Will blast past the AI car with DRS and up into 10th place. There you go. But the gap seemed to have started to calm down a little bit. Synchro not really making much of a dent. Chelsea isn't neither, and they've got to be concerned with Michael Fures behind. Assuming Michael Fures does go on to the end of this race, and the top three do make another pit stop, Michael Fures will be in the lead of this race, but they'll be on much older tyres and might be more difficult to might be difficult to hold that lead if Fures does take that. Victor now with a 3-second time penalty. And the fact that Fures hasn't picked up any penalties themselves could play into their hands as well. Vapor's just taken 2 temps out of Synchro at the moment, extending their lead at the front even further. But it all seems to have calmed down a little bit. They're all out of range of one another. Synchro doing their best to keep within. They'll try and make some ground on Vapor as well. Synchro seems a lot quicker through turn 8 and 9. Both used a lot of ERS actually. So is Chelsea for life as well. Chelsea's finally burnt off that excess of ERS that they had previously. Try and catch up to the top two, but a long way back unfortunately at this moment in time. Gap has started to come down again. I think there was a lock up there from the Haas driver. There's a white puff of smoke through the exit of turn 14. Into 15 we go. This is the one to watch, of course. In 4th place, could be a factor later on for a podium, if anything. But we'll see. No safety cars or virtual safety cars has been good as well. Although admittedly with 10 or 11 cars on the track, it's less likely we get them. But even still, it's been pretty consistent from all the drivers at this moment in time. Gap is starting to come down between those two now. Down to 1.8 seconds. Okay, to explain, for those of you who just joined, to explain the situation, you're not tripping. When a lobby first started, I forgot to click spectate, so it's put me in it, and then I left and put me back to spectating. So, I don't know. Technically, I'm racing and commentating, but technically not. And also, hello to Sarah. Hello. I'm very late with reading some of these, reading the chat at the moment. Synchro again, losing a bit of time as well. Whatever Synchro can take out of Vapor in the middle sector, Vapor responds very quickly back to it. As into the pits then comes Victor. So we do have a little bit of... We do have some action now going on. On go the soft compound tyres then. Here's the first of the 2 stoppers then. That was a very long pit stop there. Was there a front wing change that I missed? Probably there was. As Goran into the pits as well. Victor will drop down the field extensively. Take control of your AI. No. I think the AI is doing a better job than I am. I'd rather let the AI do it. The AI's been much more consistent than I'll ever be, and I respect it, so... I was worried it would get in the way, and it has actually got in the way of Chelsea earlier on. The ultimate multitasker. Oh, could you imagine? There he is. Look at this little gem of a driver. Admittedly, he's absolutely nowhere, but we'll move back to the top two, because Vapor and Synchro into the pits then, as is Chelsea as well, so let's see what Michael Furious is. Michael Furious through turn 13, in theory, should take the lead of this race. Odds on me just now randomly taking control of my car. What do I have to do to do? How much will I have to be paid to do that? Michael Furious does indeed take the lead of this race. Vapor does come out back in second place. A couple of seconds back. Synchro in third, and Chelsea will obviously come out in fourth as well. So Michael Furious in the lead of this race, but has got to defend from some very aggressive drivers who are on the soft compound tyres. Michael Furious on 11 lap old hard tyres. That's a bit of a handful to do. You can see already Vapor already up to temperature on those soft tyres, and I get the feeling may not find it too difficult to get past the slower Alfa Romeo as Goran gets another 3-second time penalty. See already the difference in grip between the fresh soft tyres compared to the used hard compound tyres. Michael Furious, of course, will give it everything. You can see already Vapor trying to go down the inside of turn 11. The door was left open, and Vapor immediately takes the lead back. That's just the grip difference in grip levels as well. But the door was left open, and Vapor didn't need a second opportunity to walk through that door. And it's the same corner, of course, they took the lead previously. And Vapor into the lead of this race for a second time. And now it's Synchro's turn to do the same. Furious, I think at this point, might be playing for a podium, but depends how quickly Chelsea can catch them. Remember, of course, Synchro and Chelsea have got penalties to apply. Furious still hasn't got any, so that could be decisive later on. The longer Furious can keep these two behind, the better it is for their chances. Got nothing really to lose, let's be honest. There's Fallen Monkeys pits as well. Chelsea for life is now up to 9 seconds worth of penalties. That could hurt them against Furious later on, as Synchro trying to find a way through, slips down the inside of turn number 6 that was, and Synchro up into second place. Furious didn't hold it for too long, unfortunately, but actually does have the DRS from Synchro, so that worked out quite nicely. They did try and essentially stick it up the inside of turn 8, but backed out of it, I think wisely so. And now Synchro will dash after Vapor. Chelsea for life will be the next one to try and catch them. It was about 5.7 seconds back from them. We saw already Goran setting the fastest lap of this race earlier on. Of course, they pitted earlier, so we'll see what the others will do in response to that. There's Vapor now with the fastest lap of this race. Chelsea's slowly catching him, gets the fastest lap for them. Takes 7 tenths out of Michael Furious as well. Chelsea for life might not even be seeing that podium with all those penalties. They've not only got to catch and pass Michael Furious, they've got to find 9 seconds on them as well, which is easier said than done. Synchro still in the same position that they were in before. As that was Fallen Monkeys passing ISRL Hartman. Fallen Monkeys on the fresher soft tyres Hartmann on the hard tyres and struggling for grip there, as we saw. That gap now between Michael Furious and Chelsea for Life coming down dramatically, now down to 3.8 seconds, so Chelsea really beginning to push on this particular run. Realises the mammoth of a task they need to do. There's down the back straight we go. Gap now 3.1 seconds. You imagine Chelsea for Life will catch them very quickly. Synchro once again takes a couple attempts out of Vapor. So this fight for the lead is not over yet, but Synchro, remember, of course, got that 3-second time penalty they'll have applied, so but they haven't got many laps to do so. 4 laps to go. Hasn't been the most dramatic Grand Prix of all time, but there has been some interesting moments, to say the least. Synchro really now beginning to attack here on Vapor. Once again through turn 8. Vapor looks much quicker through there in comparison. Chelsea for Life is slowly closing in on the Alfa Romeo. May pass for a podium here, but may not stay on it. Gap now almost 1.5 seconds. Synchro now 1.7 seconds behind Vapor. That gap is slowly coming down. Chelsea is almost within DRS range of Michael Furious as well, the battle for 3rd place. The rest of the field are very isolated from one another. Chelsea will, of course, they can get a good run for the next 3 corners. They could attack Michael Furious down the back straight. I don't think Furious will have much to defend. Maybe they don't even want to defend because of all those penalties that Chelsea has. But here we go then. Through turn 7 we go. DRS open. No ERS being used. Furious, I think, will just stay ahead for this moment. And Chelsea backs out here. Almost actually taps the back of the Alfa Romeo. Just about both of them keep it on the track. But Chelsea, have they got a better exit? Can they make a move through turn 10? You saw them just slightly using ERS there, but I think the door will slam shut on them. You can see how close they are. Chelsea's trying to go down the inside of turn number 11, but the gap is not there. And Chelsea has got to just wait patiently for a minute. The gap, meanwhile, between Synchro and Vapor coming down significantly. Down the inside of turn 12 goes the Ferrari. And Michael Furious still trying to bravely defend this, but Furious themselves picks up a penalty for that trouble by doing that as well. Chelsea now up into 3rd place. Furious picks up a penalty themselves. Would they have been better just leaving the Ferrari to defend there with 2 laps to go? Here comes Furious again with DRS. Are they going to come back at Chelsea here? And backs out of it for the moment. Meanwhile, look at this. This is Vapor and Synchro. The gap almost under a second here, but with Synchro's time penalty, that will hurt them later on unless Vapor themselves picks up a penalty. Just missed the DRS window at the moment. Chelsea is trying to head off. Now, can Chelsea make up 6 seconds within a lap and a half on Michael Furious to retain that podium place? I think it'll be difficult, especially since Furious has got DRS to keep them as close to the Ferrari as possible. They went wide through they went deep into turn 8 in the braking zone, so that would have lost them time. But But for Vapor, it's been a very easy run. At the moment in time, they may have yet to defend from Synchro. You can see a bit of a concern with the fuel potentially for Vapor. They might have to do a bit of lift and coasting. That might be why they're losing time. We haven't had a safety car or virtual safety car, so this could play a factor here. Let's keep an eye on Vapor. If Vapor runs out of fuel here, you can see the flashing light here. This could be a worry here for Vapor. Vapor has got a lift and coast. They want to make it to the end, but this is the danger by underfueling potentially. We shall see. Synchro though is much closer. They could sense an opportunity. Michael Furious sense an opportunity potentially on Chelsea as well. We could have some drama at the end here. Synchro will have DRS as well. Chelsea gets ahead of Furious. They've exchanged positions here as well. Synchro with DRS then makes their way. If they gain and gain on Vapor, but Vapor slams is just too far ahead of the Haas driver. But the question now is, has Vapor got enough fuel to get to the end? They may have to do some more lift and coasting here. Michael Furious is still very close to Chelsea, so that 3-second penalty won't matter. Michael Furious in contention for a podium after starting down the field. Vapor is just about holding on here, despite the fact that they're low on fuel, as is Synchro anyways. But Vapor has done an outstanding job with this race. They took the lead from Chelsea on lap number 1, and they haven't really looked back. It's been very much in command for the AlphaTauri driver as they make their way down the back straight. Then it is Vapor who comes across the line and wins the French Grand Prix, and I think just ran out of fuel at the end then. Synchro crosses the line to finish in second place. Chelsea will cross the line in third, but Michael Furious is going to deny them that podium. Furious on the podium, Chelsea in fourth place. Ahead then of Sulky, who will finish this race in fifth. Victor in sixth, ahead of Goran in seventh. Rusty Organ in eighth. All the Monkeys in ninth, Hartman in 10th, and I actually finished in 11th, would you believe it? Even though I did no racing at all, but I'll nominate myself as driver of the day then, in that regard. I can commentate and race at the same time. But a good window for Vapor. A little bit of a scare at the end with the fuel, but they just had enough to get to the end of the race. That probably explained why Synchro is gaining, and then we realised at the final lap. The AlphaTauri then will celebrate a win. Michael Furious driver of the day, I think rightly so. I think I'll give myself driver of the day. As a joke. But Vapor then with yet another win. Appreciate that, yes. The master of multitasking, it seems. So then, I actually got, oh, would you believe it, I got XP, even though I did nothing. I get XP for that. That's awesome. Fair enough. I'll do that more often if that's the case. Here's the standings then. Vapor wins the race from Synchro. Michael Furious, great job on that one-stop strategy to go to finish in third from 10th on the grid. Chelsea for Life in fourth, Sulky in fifth, Victor in sixth, Goran in seventh, Rusty Organ in 8th, Fallen Monkeys in 9th, Hartman in 10th, myself in 11th apparently. We only lost Vexter from this race, the one DNF for the session. And, well, that is it then, folks. That's it from us. League Division 2 and Division 1 will have adjusted start times because of the Miami Grand Prix that's taking place in a couple of hours' time. Not 100% sure what's happening, but with that, but we will see what's happened. I believe, according to this, the championship is tied. So, not sure if they. I'm just reading Discord, so not sure if that means first and second or not or whatever. But yeah, that's that then. So, awesome stuff. Well, that is it from us. Thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, I'm not sure when Division 2 and Division 1 are starting, but definitely keep an eye out for them. But we will be back next week. Where are we next week? We are in Azerbaijan for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, of course. 3 rounds left to go. We'll see how it plays out. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.